Hello, welcome to Miniature Realms. My name's Stuart. Now, you've probably heard me mention Gaahleri on the channel before. I've done loads and loads of reviews of their airbrushes and I use them almost exclusively now. Really like them. Very good quality for affordable prices. And they've recently branched out into their own paint ranges, Kaleido, and they've sent me lots of it to test out. And that's what I'm going to do in this video.
Miniature Realms is proudly sponsored by Counter-Attack Bases. They stock a wide range of counters, gaming aids and movement trays for multiple game systems and offer custom items to suit your club, your event or even your podcast or YouTube channel. Check out the link in the video description. As you can see, they send me quite a lot of stuff. We've got primers, airbrush cleaner, thinners, varnishes and a couple of paint sets. There's a metal set and a primary set. I want to be completely upfront here. There's an affiliate link in my video description below. There's a 10% off discount code you can use as well, and I've used a lot of their stuff before and I do get a kickback if you buy their airbrush and if you buy this stuff. So I want you to be upfront about that. I'm going to give you an honest review of it, but if it's positive, I'm sure many of you may question it. So you please watch the video, make your own mind up, and I'll try and show as much as I tell so you can see and hopefully believe what I'm saying to you. I'm not going to review absolutely everything that's here. There's just far too much of it. So I'm going to focus on the things that are useful to wargamers. I'm a wargamer. I paint for wargaming, and most of you who watch this channel are the same as well. So all the metallics would be perfect. The primers definitely, because I'm really interested in testing out some primers that work well through the airbrush, but I'm probably not going to touch on these gloss primary range here at all. They look great, but at the end of the day they're probably better suited to people painting model cars, mecha, that kind of thing. Now, sorry environment, but I'm going to be using some plastic spoons for this. The packaging, all very good, very strong actually. You've got a thin outside box that you'd normally expect, but there's actually corrugated card on the inside, and each of the larger bottles was all sealed as well. I had to peel away a seal each time. I'm going to look at the matte black primer here. I'm not going to review the gloss. Again, it's just not something I'd use. And they all come with an agitator as well. That's the small bottles and the bigger ones. Just put them in the airbrush with a little touch of their thinner, probably only 1 in 10, just to help the flow a little bit to see how it would go. It's quite often with black or any airbrush primer really, you end up having to thin it, at least in my experience, thin it to the point of it not being useful as a primer anymore, just to get it to go through your airbrush nicely. You have to whack your PSI up so far and you lose control. And I've got this as a fairly standard 20 to 25 PSI, and as you can see, it's going on really super smooth and easily. I'm very impressed. So I grabbed a tank that I had next to me that I need for a project. It's already been partly sprayed yellow, not by myself, and I needed to cover it in black so I could start again. I didn't want to strip it, so I didn't want to put it on a rattle can, so I thought I'd give it a go, and again, no problem at all. Just a few passes, probably 3 thin coats on it, and gave it a really nice strong prime again, and we'll come back to that strong prime bit in a moment. I had a metal miniature near me, so I wanted to test that as well. Metal doesn't always like airbrush primers. I find it just rubs straight off almost. And again, no problems at all. Gave it a really strong coverage. And this is the back of my nail, rubbing fairly firmly, but not ridiculously hard. And you can see it's not scratching back to the plastic. It's just leaving marks there on the spoon. That really surprised me. That's kind of wow. And I just emptied the cup, wiped the cup out, ran some water through it, and I'm using a little bit of their airbrush cleaner. Again, really testing it out here. If I'm using some of the other primers I have in the past, Vallejo comes to mind. I've struggled with it to get it to work well, and it really clogs up your airbrush and it needs a real good clean, even just after one colour. So I'm really pushing it to its sort of boundaries here, and then going straight on with a little bit of thinner again, but again, just that 1 in 10. Probably don't need it, you know, on reflection, but I'm getting this super smooth coat. This is the grey. It's a very light grey, but the same super smooth finish that I got with the black a moment ago. Same deal again with the white. Empty the cup, wiped it out, bit of water through, a bit of cleaner, and then straight on. So no deep cleans at all, no taking the nozzle out, which I often found out to do. And I'm just spraying this over that spoon that I scraped a little bit, so it's going over black rather than over white, so you can actually see it. But Hopefully you can see there again how super smooth that is, and that's not my normal experience with whites in general for the airbrush. You've got to fight with them sometimes, but let alone a white primer. I've hardly ever found one that works really well. Been using army painter ones, they're fine, I can get them to go through the airbrush, but they don't have such a strong coverage, and they're definitely nowhere near as strong afterwards. I wouldn't be able to scrape off with my nail like you saw a moment ago with the army painter ones. It would have come off that spoon. So I'm kind of genuinely shocked how good these are. I thought they'd be fine, but I'm genuinely shocked how strong they are, how much they feel like a rattle can prime to the touch afterwards once you've let them dry properly. Really, really impressed. This genuinely might be the best airbrush primers I've ever tried. Now, I've got a lot more testing to do, but they're good. This is the gloss varnish. I use gloss varnish a lot before applying decals, that kind of thing. And I do use matte. They didn't send me a matte. I'm not sure whether they've got one. They got a semi-gloss, and I had 2 bottles of that. It may well be that because this is a range that's aimed at a lot of people who make model cars, that kind of stuff, that they don't need a matte. Or it might just be that they didn't have one to send me. But I'm testing the gloss out. And again, it goes on pretty easy. I've also not done a deep clean again. I've just done the same cleaning process throughout, and it's still working. So I didn't use these ones in this video. I may well come back to them in the future. The semi-gloss, not that useful. And the retarder thinner I may well use, just didn't work for this process. But I'm really interested in these metallic paints as well. I quite often use just normal metallic paints through the airbrush. But we're really interested to see what these are like. And you can see they're expanding their range from all of the colours that are there. Now, a lot of those are those gloss primary colours that I was talking about, which they have sent me. But this is the metal set, a full set there, and you also get a thinner and a cleaner in there as well, which is a nice little touch. You can just buy this set and away you go. Nice looking bottles, all have an agitator. Standard high quality bottles these days that you get on the market. No issues with them in the short amount of time that I was using them. Obviously, I'm not using them over months to know how well they clog up or not, but they seem pretty good. And I'm sorry, but before we go on, I'm just absolutely obsessed with these primers. On the left hand side is the airbrush one, on the right is the rattle can of the view spoons that I prepped for this. It's just so much of a smoother finish. But anyway, we will crack on with these metallic paints. They are super thin. They're very much like the Vallejo metal colour paints, if you've used those. Very sort of similar viscosity. I'm not sure they would live up to too much hairy brush painting. It's very much designed only for airbrushes. But as you can see, they're super smooth. And I'm putting these through the airbrush with no thinner whatsoever. And that just sort of shows you how smooth they are. We'll move on to the next one. This is a gunmetal. Again, the same thing again. Goes through really easy, a couple of thin coats, and you get this really strong, very vibrant, shiny metal colour. Quite often metallic paints can seem a little bit dull if they've got too much white pigment in them. I think it's white pigment anyway, but these just feel like they're designed to be a chrome on a posh car kind of thing, which makes sense, seeing as where their market may well be for some of these paints. But they're all going through the airbrush, no problem at all, covering really, really well over this black prime, and they're really nice, vibrant colours. This is the brightest silver in the range, and again they match pretty well with what's in the bottle for the silvers. It's a little bit different when you come to the golds and coppers, just because of I think the way the pigments work a little bit different, so they tend to look a little bit different on the spoon than they do by looking at the bottom of the bottle, especially the copper based colours. But this silver here, as you can see, is extremely bright and shiny. This is titanium alloy. I'm not showing the spraying process now because they all went through exactly the same through the airbrush. This is the tungsten steel with a nice sort of green tone to it as well. These are really beautiful, useful colours. Aluminium, again, really nice and bright, just a slightly different colour to some of the rest. And that full range of sort of steel-based colours is really nice. So if we move on to the rest, we've got that red copper, which again looks a bit different on the spoon. Copper there, which is more like a desaturated gold maybe, but very nice colour all the same. Then we have some scorched gold, which is a slightly browner gold, as you can imagine. Again, useful colour. And then champagne gold, which I think is very nicely named there. and also this flashy gold, which has got a slightly warmer tone to it, slightly more yellow in there. Really nice bright colours again there. There's a few colours you could add to that spectrum for sure, some more of the darker brown metallics that I like to use, but again, the market that these are aimed at, these are absolutely fantastic, and I will definitely make use of them. As I mentioned at the top of the video, I'm not going to go through these. There's 24 paints here, all gloss, and they just don't match the kind of painting I do, or a lot of you do as well who follow me on the channel. I may well use them at certain points, and when I do, I will make a note of it. But as you can see, it's a really nice set, lots of vibrant colours in there. You've got some cleaner in there and some thinner as well. And if you're into your mecha, or you're into different kinds of model building, based on the metallics I've tried, these could be really, really great for you. Overall, they're pretty good, better than I expected. I didn't know the experience of a new company going out there and making paint, especially one that's not quite so well known within the wargaming industry. I'm just impressed with them overall. The primers genuinely are the best ones I've ever tried through the airbrush. Now, I've got to put them through their paces more, painting over the top of them and all the rest, but so far I'm super impressed with them. The metallics are really nice and vibrant. You can see that yourself as well, and hopefully you saw they went through the airbrush really well. They really remind me of the Vallejo metal colour, and I know lots of people are fans of those. If you're fans of those, you can't get hold of them, or you just want something more like that, definitely check these out as well, because they are very similar, and in my opinion, very good.
Thank you very much for watching. I hope you found that interesting. Maybe you'll have seen some paints there that have inspired you and you want to go and purchase them yourself. There will be links in the video description below. If any of the paints and things that I've tried today make you think, great, I want to go and try that out. There's so many great paint ranges out there at the moment, and it's really nice to see another quality one on the market, in particular one that's designed to use with airbrushing. I know not all of those paints are designed for wargamers as such, so it'll be a matter of picking and choosing what suits you, and that's exactly what I do with ranges as it already. And you may have seen my recent video on how I choose paint, and a lot of my ideas around that go into that. But there's some cool things shown today, so you make your own choices, and if you want to buy from them, then do check out that link below. If you've enjoyed the video, please do give it a like and drop a comment below. Please do let me know what you think of those paints, and if you'd like to support me, please do check out my Patreon, because it really is the best way of supporting me. And thank you so much to all my existing patrons. I really appreciate all the support you give me. But thank you very much for watching. Take care, and I'll catch you soon.